Hey, this is Russ. Riding season is coming up faster than I thought. Now, I missed an opportunity. Yeah, a couple of days ago, we hit like 51, 52 degrees out here in Chicago. I didn't even know it was that weather. I didn't go outside the entire day. And then my friend called me. He says, hey, did you go out riding? I go, what? I've been stuck inside so long, I don't even know what's going on outside. Yeah. So this coming week, though, today being Saturday as you're watching this, by Thursday or Friday of next week, we should be again in the low 50s. Yeah, so like 51, 52, something like that. That's what the forecast says. What it really is, it might be two different things, right? So maybe this coming week, I might actually be able to go out at least once. Okay, I'm hoping. Okay, don't hold me to it, but I'm hoping. So I got to get a bike ready. And the last video we did, I talked about whether my bikes are ready to go. Yeah, they're not ready. So I think I need to get one bike ready to go. So if that happens, I can just jump on it and go. Yeah, I've been having the itch to ride. And a number of you guys have mentioned too on your comments back to me that you got the itch to go out too. Some of you guys bought brand new bikes over the winter, haven't been able to use it yet. So I know how you feel. I would be chomping at the bit trying to get out there. So, yeah, hopefully we all can get out there for a short time. I don't know. They said that there's some type of heat wave coming through or something. So it might be temporary, but at least maybe we get a chance. Now, again, if you're new to e-biking, you bought that new bike, over the holidays or something, getting yourself ready for the thing. Be careful on your first ride. A lot of people aren't used to that bike on the very first time they take it out. It's heavy. Okay, remember that. It's heavy compared to your regular bikes. My suggestion always is to get used to using the throttle to get you started and then start pedaling. Okay, if you try to just start pedaling right off the bat, some of the e-bikes have a delay. All right, some of the e-bikes there's a slight delay that when you start pedaling, the motor doesn't immediately kick in and then eventually kicks in. And each bike has a certain type of delay or no delay. Some of them are instantaneous, some of them have a delay. So since it's brand new to you, be careful on the first time you ride it. All right, so don't go riding it on the street on the very first time. Be careful. Find what I recommend is find like a parking lot or something like that and just practice a little bit where there's no cars. Practice a little bit. An empty parking lot means, let me say that, not just like a parking lot with lots of traffic. Empty parking lot and practice a little bit first, and then you can move on. Okay, be careful. I mean, the anxiousness of people sometimes is what gets them in trouble, and then they fall. So, and a lot of times when you fall, like I mentioned, happens when you're stopping or attempting to stop. That's when a lot of us fall. It's not usually when we're moving. It's when we're stopping a lot of times or heading towards stopping. Then you end up falling. So be careful. All right. Next thing. Sorry for all the warnings, but I'm really nervous for some of you guys. I want to make sure you guys are safe, right? I want to make sure I'm safe too. Good reminders for myself. Wear your helmets. Wear those gloves, like it said. The gloves have helped people. Some of you commented back and said the gloves helped me when I fell. Yeah, you don't want to scrape up all your skin on your palms of your hands. I mean, you're gonna put your hands out a lot of times when you fall, so you don't want to scrape that all up. Get some gloves, all right? Spend the $10 to $15 or whatever it costs to buy these bike gloves. So, all right, what else? All right, some updates on some things. Yeah, a couple of the manufacturers have contacted me and said that they got some new bikes coming, and so I will have some new products for review. Now, some of the things too, companies that I haven't approved yet, but I do plan to do that after the riding season starts. We know that some new product is coming in from some new manufacturers that I have not worked with before. So we have some review bikes coming. Now, I do see the other videos that come out from other review companies, and I go, yep, that's something that I will probably do, So it feels bad where, you're offered something and you just have to tell them, yeah, I'm interested, but I can't do it, not with our weather. I feel bad, and I see the other guys have already come out with the review, so it's like you're late to the game, but that's Chicago, man. I mean, there's not much else I can do. I mean, some people will take it and ride it in the winter. I mean, there's a couple of reviewers who do that. I can't do that. I can't risk it. First off, those guys are younger than me, and they didn't have knee replacements done. I mean, I don't risk my knee for anything. Like I said, I don't care what it is. You know, if I'm going to be late on a review because, you know, I'm babying my knee and making sure I'm safe, that's the way it's going to be, right? Safety is always the most important thing. You know, a lot of times people do anything for a YouTube video. I don't do that, as you know. I mean, I enjoy my YouTube channel. I enjoy having you guys watching and everything, but I don't risk myself for stuff. You know, people have asked me too, why don't you go on like gravel trails? I don't risk myself on gravel trails. I don't think they're safe. You know, it's so packed and everything, but if you fall on that, it's going to be bad because it's not, I mean, I think it's worse falling on that than it is falling on pavement because it's like falling on shards of glass almost, right? It's like lots of rocks and stuff. I don't want to fall on that. And especially if you've had a knee replacement done, I don't risk my knee for anything. All right. So I'm a little bit different on YouTube. I'll do what I need to do, but I don't do stuff that is not safe. Yeah, I think you guys know that. It's the way it is. And I'll tell you everything too. I never hold back. I tell you everything that comes up and the like. So, all right, what else? So, those bikes eventually be coming in. We've already made arrangements. I've told these guys that it might be like end of March, something like that. If I can get the bikes in by that time, I could put them together. I can, gather my thoughts of what I'm going to say, and then when the writing time comes, I can go out and write and check it, and then do the review. Yeah. So if they're a little late compared to the other guys, you've already seen the reviews. Well, watch mine's anyway. All right. I might have something different to say or a different of opinion or something, or I might have the same opinion as the other guys. Who knows? But it'll be affirmation to you that might be the bike that you might want to get, right? So I'm looking at some of the companies and the offerings now, since I know what's coming on some of the companies. And there are entry-level bikes that have more stuff on it now than they did before. Yeah, in fact, some of the models are being upgraded to include certain things that they didn't have on them before. And they might even cost less. So I think there's going to be a change. We're going to see a change in the 2024 models. Yeah, they're giving you more for the money now. And that's just like anything else. I mean, it's like computers. You buy a computer. By next year, that computer you bought that was top of the line is no longer top of the line. I mean, okay, look at the iPhone, right? The iPhone 15 Pro Max. That's what I'm recording my visual of myself on right now. That was the top of the line phone, right? Right after it came out, I don't know how long, another month or two later, they're already talking about the iPhone 16. I go, man, I just got this one. They're going to have a 16. Well, the thing is, you have to buy stuff when you need it, knowing full well that next year is probably going to be outdated, that they'll have something else that might be a little bit better, right? Not always the better, but changed, right? So that seems to be the case with these bikes now, too. I mean, there was a time when everyone was using mechanical disc brakes, right? Well, now the norm is pretty much hydraulic brakes at a certain price point. I mean, entry-level stuff like, $1,000 bike is probably not going to have the hydraulic brakes on it. But, by the time you get to maybe $1,200, $1,300, it might have hydraulic brakes on it. We didn't see hydraulic brakes until well over $2,000 bikes when I first started buying an e-bike, right? So they always add something more. Now, I think we're seeing things like suspension, rear suspension on your bikes. We didn't see that until it was a lot higher. Now the prices have come down on those things. So just kind of know that whatever you buy, okay, it's going to be superseded by something better. So there's always like that buyer's remorse, right? It's like, I should have waited until next year. Well, hey, if you said that for next year, you'd say, let's wait until the following year. It might be even better. You'll never end up with anything. You have to buy something when you feel like you want to do it. You buy it, you enjoy it for that year, and then, if they come up with something else, so be it. But, a bike is a bike. You know what I mean? A bike still, no matter how good your bike is, it still gets you from point A to point B, right? It's just how nice the ride is to get you there, right? So, let me say something too. Somebody asked me recently, what do you think about the conversion bikes? What's your impression of that? I'm not a big fan of the conversion. I mean, if you really know what you're doing, that's another story, okay? Because there's some guys that really know how to build decent bikes out of things, right? But in general, let's say you're just the average guy. You're not like, the major bike enthusiast kind of guy. So you have a old 10-speed bike. What we used to call a 10-speed, okay? Or maybe you have a very basic mountain bike or something like that. So you want to convert it into an e-bike. I'm always a little nervous about that, the conversion kits, because a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are just like front wheel conversion things where you change out the front wheel and the front wheel has a motor on it and all that. I'm not a real big fan of that. I tend to like a rear hub motor. And there's always mid-drive guys too who use mid-drive motors. Okay, if you know how to do that, that's another story. But I'm finding that a lot of people said that, the mid-drive is not really for me because I don't want to shift. Yeah, you got to shift on a mid-drive motor. I have the Himiway Rambler. Yeah, I learned to shift more with that because you need to shift. Yeah, if you want to be efficient with your motor, you have to shift. But that bike actually has a throttle as well, so I don't have to shift. But the whole point of the mid-drive is you got to shift. You got to pedal and you got to shift. Okay. But anyways, I prefer a hub drive motor overall. And if the motor is in the front instead of in the back, I'm not a fan of that. Plus, I know that the bikes are a little lighter in weight, compared to like a standard e-bike that has a bigger, heavier frame. That's why e-bikes are typically pretty heavy, right? In comparison to like a regular mountain bike or definitely in comparison to like a road bike, like what we used to call a 10-speed, right? So I kind of feel that, having that extra weight is kind of a necessity to be safer. Now, people think, how are you safer when the bike is heavier? Yeah, you are. You are. So, the motor, you might be doing 15, 20 miles an hour. Think about what that would be in stability if your bike is really lightweight and the like, compared to something that's a little heavier. Think about how heavy a motorcycle is, all right? Why is that thing so heavy? It's got a big, heavy engine. Why is it so heavy, though? They're more stable at 60 miles an hour with a heavier bike, motorcycle that is, compared to like if you took an e-bike and said, let me do 60 miles an hour on it. I don't think I'd be too safe with that. I don't think I would want to try it even, okay? I don't even like going past 28 miles an hour sometimes. I mean, I do it because I'm on the street, but I don't feel good about being that fast constantly because I know if I hit the ground, I'm going to hit hard at 28 miles an hour compared to something that's like 20. So anyways, it's personal preferences. I mean, there's people who say, I've got a new bike that does 40 miles an hour. I'm glad. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, not everybody wants that. All right, not everybody needs that. So for me, I think 28 is my max that I prefer. If it can do 30, okay. I have one bike that does like 31, something like that. That's one of the Engways. Was that the X24 will do like 31, 32 miles if I work it. Now with the less weight on me too, since I've lost some weight, probably can hit it. Yeah, the lower you weigh, the faster your bike has a potential to drag you forward, right? The heavier you are, it's more effort on the engine or the motor, right? It's more effort for the motor to push you forward. So the whole point is this, right? The conversion bikes, I'm not a fan of. I'd rather have a little bit heavier bike made specifically for e-biking. So yeah, I know sometimes people say, well, I want to do the conversion, it's cheaper. I understand that, okay? I just feel safer if I know that the bike was designed to have a motor on it. And they kind of looked at everything around it and says, okay, this bike has to weigh this much. It's got the frame geometry has to be this and that. I prefer that, all right? So, I mean, if you have a conversion bike, and you like it, great, okay? But for me, because you asked me, my preference would not be to do that. My preference would spend the extra $500 or whatever the extra amount of money is for even the basic bike and get that instead. Okay, I think we ride a little bit differently than a standard bike. At least I do. I mean, first off, we're faster than our standard bikes. If you're my size and my ability, I'm not saying that guys with road bikes that are what we used to call the spandex group, those guys ride faster than us a lot of times, okay? But that's their goal. That's what they're going for, okay? And they're looking for those lighter bikes and stuff to do. For me, I'm not interested in that. I want to get from point A to point B. I mean, my whole point is, when I used to do those botanic garden rides, what is that thing? 64 miles round trip for me. That's what I'm excited to do with my bike, that I can actually take my bike, go some distance, do what I need to do, and get back. That's why I have the e-bike versus, how fast can I get there? That's not me, okay? My thing is get me there and get me there safely. Let me enjoy what I'm doing. Let me get back home safely. That's me, right? Hopefully that's you too. Don't go crazy and do crazy things on your bike. Just be safe. Ride safely, especially at our age. A lot of you guys that watch the Russ is Right channel are, let's say, over 60 years old. Okay, and just looking at my demographics on my YouTube channel analytics, I know most of you guys watching me are over 60. Not all, okay, but most of you guys are. I just want people to be safe. That's all. Enjoy your bike and be safe. Now, if going fast is how you enjoy it, that's great. If going safely and going slower is what you are, that's okay too. All right. And as far as one last thing, as far as bike paths versus streets, because I've had people comment quite a bit on this topic in the past. As you know, I ride mostly on the street now, although I do have bike paths in my area and I do it. It just seems like every time I'm on that thing, somebody has to make a comment, and that takes away from the fun for me. If somebody calls me a cheater, or somebody says that bike's illegal, or no motorbikes on our path, stuff like that, I don't want to hear that, right? You hear that enough times, you're just kind of tired of it. I don't hear that when I'm on the street, right? That's a lot of times why I'm on the street. Plus, the street gets me from point A to point B. I want to go someplace, do my thing, come back. The bike paths, I always feel like I'm just going around in a circle, going around in the path, and that's it. Some people like that. Okay, not so much for me. I mean, I enjoy being on it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't enjoy it when people are yelling stuff at me when I'm on my bike. All right, I don't know why people do that either, quite frankly. It's just like, mind your own business, Leave me alone. What have I done to you as I'm passing you on the bike? But people feel that, you're dangerous on the bike. You might smash into me. Well, so can any other bike. Others have said the bike you have is so much heavier, there's more momentum, you'll hit them harder. That's probably true. I can see that. But if you're a safe rider, and I would say I'm relatively safe, I don't want to hear that. Plus, some people say, well, you pass all the stop signs. Yeah, I do, but I explained why I do that, right? This has been a big topic for the last 3 years for me. Yeah, if you watch my videos, this guy never stopped at stop sign. I slow down at the stop signs now, okay? A lot of times you can't really tell in the video, but I do. Just listen. If you can hear the motor kind of slows down and it kind of starts up again, if there's nobody around, I keep going, okay? It's just the way it is, all right? And we've discussed this many, many times. It's like, he's not safe. He never stops. I'm safer for myself if I don't stop, all right? But, and I look around. If there's nobody there, I keep going. If I see people around or I see cars around, yeah, I stop, and sometimes I'll stop altogether or at least slow down, that's what I'm saying, right? Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Kind of random topics, but covered a lot of different things. Anyways, if you like this video, watch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays will be our e-bike videos. Mondays will be my health updates as I'm dealing with the diabetes and the high blood pressure and all that stuff. Give you good updates on how I'm doing. So watch what you like. I'll talk to you guys next time. Hit that subscribe button and hit the like button too. Talk to you guys next time.